Hey, what is going on, guys? Inferno LH here, and today I'm going to be doing a brand new video where I test the Terra Blade on all the bosses in the game. Now, the reason I'm going to be fighting all the bosses with the Terra Blade is because in the 1.4.4 version they reworked the Terra Blade along with some other melee weapons. So as you can see, the animation on this thing is even different too. And honestly, it looks really cool. I really like this animation. But before we go ahead and get into any of the boss fights, could you please like and subscribe to my channel, as over 90% of people who do watch my videos are not subscribed, so I would really appreciate it. I will also leave the link to my Discord server in the description of this video if you want to go ahead and join that. But before we go ahead and fight all the bosses, let's go over my build really quickly. So obviously I'm using the Terra Blade, and I'm going to be using the legendary modifier on it. I'm not going to be using any buffs against any of these bosses, just so you know. But the armor I'm using is the solar armor, and my accessories, I have the Avenger emblem, Warrior emblem, Celestial Shell, Solar Wings, and the Fire Gauntlet. And the bosses will be fought on normal mode, so this Ankh Shield is not going to affect anything. So the world that I'm going to be fighting all these bosses on is my all items world. This is a 1.4.4 all items world. So if you want to download this world and use it for yourself, I will leave the link in the description of this video to my video on this all items world. Okay, so the very first boss we're going to be up against is the King Slime. So let's go ahead and spawn him in. And I could imagine he's going to be defeated very fast. And yeah, he's defeated instantly right there. Huh. Yeah, I mean that's to be expected. This is a hard mode weapon. These pre-hard mode bosses. Cthulhu has now been spawned in, and I could imagine he's going to be defeated very fast, just like King Slime was, and yep, there we go, he's down, before he can even transform into his second phase. Next up, we have the Eater of Worlds, and yep, he's just getting mowed down, boom. That was very easy, very fast. Brain of Cthulhu has been spawned in. Let's see how much of a fight he puts up. These tissue samples just get wiped out instantly. And, yep, so does the brain. Okay, so now we have Queen Bee. Let's see how she does. And, yep, very fast. I'm sorry, Clothier, but it has to be done. Time to fight Skeletron, and boom. Yep, he's already down. Defeated instantly. Deerclops has now been spawned in. Where is he? Hello, Deerclops. Where are you? There you are. Alright, let's see how long it takes to defeat him. Alright, here we go. Ooh, actually, taking quite a bit of hits here compared to all the other pre-hard mode bosses. Definitely the strongest so far. Next up, we have the Wall of Flesh, so let's go ahead and spawn him in. I'd imagine that he's going to take a bit longer to defeat compared to the other bosses, but still, yep, no problem for the Terra Blade. The twins have now been spawned in, and I could imagine that these are going to be putting up more of a fight compared to most of the other bosses we've fought so far. And yeah, they already are taking quite a bit of hits here, but still, no match for the Terra Blade. The Terra Blade is a great weapon for the mechanical bosses, and pretty much most of the bosses throughout the entire game, really. And boom, twins are now down. Next up, we have the Destroyer. Very easy to defeat with really any melee weapon, especially the Terra Blade, because you can just sit here and just swing your sword, and you don't even have to think to defeat this boss. And boom, yep, he's already defeated. Time for the final mechanical boss, Skeletron Prime. Here we go. Now, something I haven't decided on is whether or not which mechanical boss is the most difficult. Now, the Destroyer is definitely out of the question on that. He's by far the easiest mechanical boss. But I don't know, is Skeletron Prime or the twins more difficult? I don't know. Leave a comment on what you think is more difficult. Do you think Skeletron Prime or the twins is more difficult? Anyways, Skeletron Prime is now down. No match for the Terra Blade, obviously. Okay, so moving on to the next boss, we have to go into a special seed. This is a new seed in the 1.4.4 update called Get Fixed Boy. This boss can only be fought on this seed, I think.
you might be able to fight it on some of the other secret seeds, I'm not sure, but you can't fight this in a normal world. And this boss, you may or may not have heard of it. It's called Mechdusa, and to spawn it in, you use Akram's Razor, which is a cool reference to Akram. To craft it, you use all the mechanical boss summons and just craft it into this. But here we go, let's spawn in Mechdusa. It's a combination of all the mechanical bosses. And yes, it looks so strange. And honestly, compared to most of the other bosses, this is actually quite a difficult boss, actually. It has a lot of health and it does a lot of damage, so in terms of difficulty, I wonder where this would be placed compared to all the other bosses in the game, because this is actually quite a bit of a challenge. So, and this also doesn't just have one health bar. It's as if you're fighting all the mechanical bosses, so if I destroy one of these bosses on here, so I think I'm probably about to defeat the destroyer part. Come on, go down. Anyways, yep, there it goes. Okay, see, if I defeat one boss on this thing, that part just destroys. The whole boss doesn't get defeated. And so I wonder, there's a trophy in this game for defeating all the mechanical bosses at once. So I wonder, does this count for that trophy? I won't be able to figure that out now because I already have that. But I wonder, does this count for that? Makes me curious. Well, now we're just down to the twins here. It's almost defeated, but Mechdusa is actually quite a challenging boss, especially if you aren't as geared up as I am right now. So, quite a difficult boss and pretty interesting. I think this is a pretty strange boss, actually. Anyways, Mechdusa has now been defeated. Let's move on to the next boss. Alright, next up we have the Queen Slime. I would imagine she'll take a decent amount of hits, but overall, Queen Slime is not that difficult of a boss, so yeah, her health bar is going down very fast. And yeah, no match for the Terra Blade. Queen Slime is very easy. Alright, the next boss we are going to fight is Plantera. Let's go ahead and spawn her in. I have like no area to fight her, so hopefully this goes fine. Just gotta wait for her to show up now. Where is he? Alright, she's on the bottom right of me. Slowly making her way over here to this tiny little room that I have. Alright, anyways, here we go, Plantera. Yeah, taking quite a bit of hits. Still, Terra Blade is a great weapon to fight Plantera with. Probably, maybe even one of the best weapons to fight Plantera with, because, well, she is already almost down in just a couple more seconds. Boom, no more Plantera. Alright, Golem has now been spawned in. I'd imagine that Golem actually does take a decent while to defeat, as he's more of a tanky boss than an attacking boss. And I'm pretty sure in the 1.4.4 update, the newest one, I'm pretty sure they buffed his health or defense or something like that. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they did, because it seems like he's taken a lot of hits here. But now he's in his second form, he's almost down, and definitely he's no match for the Terra Blade. Terra Blade is just wiping out all these bosses. Alright, I was about to go up against Duke Fishron and notice there's a meteor here at the ocean in this world. I had no idea this was even here. Anyways, let's go ahead and spawn in Duke Fishron. I'd imagine that this is going to be a more challenging fight compared to most of the other ones. But let's see how it goes. Alright, Duke Fishron is spawned in, and yeah, I can already tell he's taking a decent amount of hits to defeat here. And I don't know if I've said this before, but Duke Fishron is actually my favorite boss in the game. I wonder how many of you also have Duke Fishron as your favorite boss? Let me know in the comments. But he's always been my favorite boss since 1.2.4, and I'm sure he always will be. But alright, now he's enraged. He's in his second phase. He's dealing a decent amount of damage to me. I'm almost at half health here. So yeah, Terra Blade is great against Duke Fishron, but it's going to be a more difficult fight if you're going to use the Terra Blade. But I don't think there's many other weapons to choose from when you're fighting Duke Fishron, or at least at this stage of the game where you haven't defeated Moonlord yet. Terra Blade's going to be pretty much your best option against him. Alright, he's almost down. Come on, just a few more hits, and boom, there we go. Duke Fishron has been defeated. Now it is time to fight the Empress of Light, and no, I am not going to fight her in daytime, because I do not want to spend hours trying to attempt to defeat her during daytime.
And something I heard that they changed in 1.4.4 is that the Hallow Armor and one of the accessories that allows you to dodge attacks no longer dodges Empress of Light's attacks during daytime. So you can't just negate damage from some of the attacks that she does during daytime anymore. Which honestly, it makes sense. I see why they did that. I think it makes a lot of sense that they did that change. But no more cheesing the Empress of Light during daytime with the Hallow Armor set now. Yet the fighter without taking one hit from her. Very difficult challenge. But she's putting up quite a bit of a fight with the Terrablade. Terrablade is still a good weapon to use against her, but yeah, she's taken a while to defeat here. She's down to less than half a quarter of her health left, so yep. Still, Terrablade is destroying her, although compared to a lot of the other bosses, I guess you can't really say it's as good. But Empress of Light is now down. Alright, now let's go up against the final boss in the game, the Moon Lord. I'm so glad that now when you use the Celestial Sigil to spawn him in, instead of taking a whole minute for him to show up, he now just shows up after 12 seconds of spawning him in, which is honestly such a great change. But now that he's spawned in, he's gonna take a while to defeat. Compared to all the bosses, I think he's taken the longest to defeat. Yeah, by far. Which is to be expected. He's the final boss, and there are better weapons to use against him than the Terrablade. But the Terrablade is still a decent choice. You can definitely beat him with just Terrablade. And what's cool about the Terrablade is, well, it's just a great weapon, but you can use it all the way from when you obtain it, right at the mechanical bosses, once you get into pre-hard mode, or into hard mode, I mean. You can use it all the way from there, all the way up against to Moon Lord and then you can craft the Zenith. So, great weapon to be used throughout the entire game, really. And something that's also making it take longer to defeat the Moon Lord is that I can't really use my melee attack. The only thing I can use the melee attack on is his top eye. On his hands, left and right hands, I can only use the ranged attack to attack him. So that's slowing down my progress by quite a lot on this boss. But his top eye is now almost down. Come on, don't close up yet. Oh, at the top of the world. Come on, drop. He's grabbing me. Okay. I can't go down this gravity. Okay, there we go. Now I just gotta take out his eyes. Left hand, then his core will open up. Alright, just down to his core. Ooh, I'm taking quite a bit of hits here. Gotta be more careful. Overall, yeah, I think I already said this, but Terrablade is just a great weapon. I'm not sure. I should have probably looked this up before I did this. I probably should have checked the stat differences in the update. Did they change it that much? Did they change the damage much or not? Because I know the projectile swings it shoots out much faster. Because before the projectile shot only like once every few seconds. Now it fires so much faster. So I wonder, is the damage different on the projectile, or is it just faster and deals the same damage? I'm curious on that. But anyways, Moon Lord is now almost defeated. He almost actually got me. I'm getting low on health here, but still got him down. And there we go. Alright, that is going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy, could you please like and subscribe to my channel? I really would appreciate it, as over 90% of people who do watch my videos are not subscribed. I will also leave the link to my Discord server in the description of this video if you want to go ahead and join that. But anyways, that is going to be it, and goodbye.